Well, shooters and reloaders out there, Fortune Cookie 45LC coming to you for the Hot Lead Zone. And I'd like to thank the company KMS Squared. They sent me some samples of their lighting kits that are LEDs to be used for reloading presses. Now this one is their universal LED light kit. And so it is intended for installation on the Dillon or the Lee or the RCBS presses. Now this one is their LED lighting kit for the Hornady lock and load AP press specifically. Let's have a look at these. Now the on-off switches and the power supplies are identical for both kits. What's different is the Universal has a 15 LED strip. That's a linear strip that we go ahead and install in a way that would be best for our use. There's no specific instructions for installation on the specific presses. But the Hornady one has a special strip that's circular that goes underneath the die station, shining downward onto the shell plate to give us light where we need it there. However, I think you'll see that this has application for other presses as well. So what you see here is the KMS Squared Universal LED light kit installed on my Dillon 550, and it's the only light that's on. So let's see how much light we have here. Can we see the powder down inside the case? Yes, we can. That's all we need. We can do everything else by feel. KMS Squared supplies us with a cleaning pad and a degreasing pad, and also these little stick-on retainers that use these zip ties to hold the LEDs in place. But I found that wasn't necessary to use any of that. You see, there are tremendous problems with mounting LED strips along the back wall here because of the tremendous glare that we'll get from the LEDs. So the back wall is out. Now the front wall is not good. The back of the front wall, because what happens is those little those stick-on retainers, gadgets with the zip ties, get in the way of the shell station moving up and down because there's not enough clearance for that. So that won't work. Well, the best place for the light is right above the die station. So the way I have this installed is pretty simple. The wire that leads to the LED strip is just strung through the dies up here, and it just goes around the corner, and then it goes right between the dies here underneath, comes up, and I've got a piece of masking tape to hold that there. Now when I change die plates, all I've got to do is unstick this, take my die plate out, put the next one in, and then go ahead and run the strip between the dies and put the stick back on, and we're back in business. And then when the wires are run between the dies like that, there's enough friction that takes the pressure off, and this is going to stay right there. So that works real well and allows us to put new dies in without any problem at all. Now, of course, you know that the company Inline Fabrication makes a LED, a little focused LED gadget that goes right down this center hole and puts light onto the station like that also. But that costs twice as much for the same performance. Now I've had this stuck on here for over an hour now, so it stays put and it works just fine. Now, of course, if you have something like this is called photographic gaffer's tape. And if you want something better than masking tape, this is what you want to use. Instead of using masking tape here, put some of this gaffer's tape on there. Plus, the gaffer's tape will stop the light from coming through here. And if you don't like the light right here coming off that one LED, a little piece of gaffer's tape over that will take care of that. So you see I've got a small piece of gaffer's tape right there covering up two of the LEDs that I don't want. Now those couple of LEDs going off the sideways there don't hurt a thing, and it actually puts more light on the bullet tray, so that's kind of nice. But there you see the LED strip right between all of the dies there, and that light comes right down onto the shell station. Now you see the press runs fine, nothing's in the way, and that's very important. Now, as you know, I've used these floodlights before to help light up my press. Plus, you cannot see the powder with the floodlights, but you can with the KMS Squared. Now, this, of course, is our Lee custom cast press, but it could just as well be the RCBS or any single stage press. But remember that circular string of LEDs from the KMS Squared kit for the Hornady? Well, just put that underneath the die station and then lead the string of LEDs down the back of the front part of the press and attach that with a couple of these supplied zip ties, and then we lead the pigtail over here around the outside of the screw here, and then that goes to the plug, and nothing is in the way of the operation of the press. As you see, get that in focus. Nothing is in the way of the press action. And let's go ahead and put a die in there. You see there's non-interference with die placement. As you see, of course you know that non-interference is the prime directive for the United Federation of Planets. So we welcome KMS Squared to the United Federation of Planets. But the proof is, how much light do we get? So I'm going to turn off my little spotlights here, and then we'll turn on the KMS unit. And that is plenty of light. That is a lot of light. And if you turn on your accessory lights, you've got a substantial amount of light there where it does the most good. Now that looks like a lot of light, maybe too much light, but rest assured, when the camera's not on, the naked eye likes this a lot. No, I won't need to wear my sunglasses when I'm reloading. So I don't know about this. It says fits Hornady lock and load AP, but they should just simply say fits a lot of single stage presses also. Very adaptable. Now, KMS Squared can be contacted through their website, or the product can be ordered from Amazon under KMS Squared Reloading Press LED Light Kit. The power cord just goes right straight back there to my power strip, which I have plenty of outlets on my reloading bench. Does not get in the way at all. And you see, I'm a firm believer in the concept of let there be light. Now, some of you will notice that I have my Lee bench plate there. So what happens when I take the press off my bench? And the answer is there's a quick disconnect right there. So we disconnect it, and then this press can come off, and the LEDs are nice and securely in position. No danger of ripping them off or doing any problem with it, within reason, of course. You know, I do believe that we can reload with just the light from the KMS Squared installation and nothing else. Well, I'm lucky that I got these given to me to try. But if you're interested in getting some of these for your reloading presses, then by all means, the cost is like $16, and that's not bad for what you're getting. Bye for now.